Lead user research strategy. This is another strategy in the portfolio of innovation strategies that people can use in any company. We're going to take a look at how that works. First, let's identify what a lead user is. Lead users are the people that solve a problem and create a solution when no solution is currently available in the marketplace. And so they're way out ahead. They're the ones that are the creative problem solvers and looking for solutions to problems that nobody else has figured out and nobody else has put into the marketplace yet. And lead users can also be very early adopters of any new product or technology that is expected to become widely used. So those are the two categories that we can think about. And so let's take a look at where lead users show up and what the lead user concept is. The fellow on the right, Eric von Hippel, is one of the originators of the notion of the lead user concept. He's an MIT professor. He has written a very interesting book called Democratizing Innovation, and it's freely available on his website. It's a downloadable PDF book, and very interesting. And what it gets at is this whole notion of where lead users show up in the innovation adoption cycle. If you look on the left-hand side, what you see is where lead users live on that cycle. They live on the far left-hand side. They are the people that are solving problems before any innovation that is available in the marketplace is ready to be bought or available in the marketplace. And so they're making, if you will, this may not register with everybody in this age group, but MacGyver solutions to problems. These are handmade solutions, creative problem-solving solutions to problems that exist, and they're in effect creating the expectation that there is an innovation waiting to happen that needs to solve these problems. And so let's look at some examples of lead users. If you think about NASCAR and the NASCAR races, and you think about what is it that they would have to have really good motor oil. Those engines are really getting beat up, and they really have to have a great deal of motor oil protection. And so they are looking at ways in which motor oil can be very effective. And that, in fact, is what led to the development of synthetic motor oils a number of years ago. And that's mostly what people use now. They're much longer lasting and they're much more protective. And that was really driven by the NASCAR drivers and the NASCAR motor racers that were basically looking for solutions that would help their engines to survive through long races. Other examples are salespeople who have to move around and have to be in constant communication with their home base. So salespeople are always looking for the best communication tools they can. And so they are, in effect, the lead users of good mobile communications tools. Another example of a lead user would be a university hospital that has experimental medical equipment. They're doing things that no other hospital is doing, unique things. They're trying things out. Another example are people who live in desert climates, who use solar applications. Not everybody is suited for a solar application, but those people would be. They want to get the most out of the rays of the sun that rain down on them and heat them up. And finally, another example of a lead user would be people like mountain climbers who have insular sporting gear, things that are very lightweight, yet very good insulation. And there are many, many other kinds of examples, but these give you the idea. These are people who are what we call lead users because they are way ahead of the marketplace. They're looking for the best thing they can get, and often the marketplace hasn't provided it for them. So they become inventive and creative and do things that are way ahead and very innovative. So let's talk about the lead user research approach, and why is this useful? So by looking at lead users and by discovering who these lead users are, companies and organizations can begin to find out what the next innovation is that's waiting to be brought in. And so when you think about finding innovation opportunities, this is another way to think about and to discover innovation opportunities that are waiting. So one way that's done, this has been done at places like 3M, where you form a cross-disciplinary team of marketing and technical units. So you have the marketers, the people who have their ears to the ground of the marketplace, and the technical people who have their ears to the ground on the technology and the capability of whatever the technology is that might be able to solve a marketplace problem. So you bring those people together into a team. And because you have that diverse expertise, you have a synergy for an opportunity search. And with some immersion approach of these teams, and this is what teams will do, with that immersion approach, you foster a creative exploration of an innovation opportunity, and it sustains a certain momentum because the people from the marketing units and the people from the technical units all have a stake in producing some new innovation. And typically, projects proceed through 4 phases, and we'll look at each of those phases. Phase 1. This is where you lay the foundation, where you identify the markets you want to explore, and this is part of the overall strategy of a company, and you determine the type and level of an innovation that you think that stakeholders in the company might see the fit within the company, and you reconcile the market search with some broad company mission or its strategy. So you can't go out and, let's say, do a computer game if you're in a carpet company. So you have to have some match with what it is that you're doing. So that's the first step. Second phase is you determine the trends that are out there. You look at what's going on. You identify experts on various emerging technologies and leading edge applications in the area that you want to explore. So if you're in an area where you're exploring, let's say, medical equipment, you want to find who's doing what unique hospitals, what unique university hospitals, what unique clinics are doing, and why are they doing it. And so you find those people and you seek their opinions and insights on what it is that's changing. Why are they doing what they're doing? And identify what's out of date. Why aren't they still using some equipment, let's say, that some hospital is still using, and they've changed that equipment. You get the answer to why they have changed that equipment, why they have moved to something new. And what that helps you do is it helps you see what's coming along the user horizon. So the third phase is to identify who the lead users might be. So you initiate some kind of a networking process to identify who the lead users of a potential innovation would be. And the reason why, if we think about adopting a potential innovation, you want to find out who would be the first people who would likely need it the most. And so you're not looking at people who are necessarily only the techies, the people who are looking for novelties. You're looking at people who really need a solution to that problem. And so you gather information on indicators of what their unmet needs are and what potential solutions might be. And then based on this information, you shape some kind of a product concept that responds to that need. And then you assess whether that concept has potential in the marketplace and whether or not it has fit in the company. Just like we looked at in any internal venture where it has a fit with the company's functioning process or whether it has a fit with the company's strategic identity. And so in phase 4, if you get this far and you find that you've got some lead users identified and you've identified some unmet needs, then you develop some kind of a breakthrough innovation. And so a way to do that in these lead user research teams is to host some kind of a working session with actual lead users and the lead user research team. So you have a group of people who are looking for a solution out there, and then you have people inside the organization who are prepared to translate the understanding of what that need is and what the technologies are that are needed into some kind of an innovative solution. And so you identify ways in which you can solve these problems jointly between both the users and, if you will, the producers of an innovation. And then you develop some innovative approaches and products that might address this lead user need and determine whether the solutions fit the needs of those target users, and determine also, once you've created a prototype of this lead user innovation, whether it fits as a solution for the company. And this is a big factor because sometimes you can have efforts go down that line and come up with very interesting solutions, but then it doesn't fit within the context of the company's strategy or its operations. Then you have to think about how you're going to spin that off or how you're going to place that innovative opportunity in some organizational context. So this is, again, an overall summary, just to kind of recap, of the lead user research process. As you can see, step one is you start up the project, you get an interdisciplinary team, you identify target markets, you define your goals. In the second step, you identify the needs and the trends that are out there in the marketplace. And how do you do that? Well, you do some expert interviews, you have some people who are experts at interviewing and who are experts on the inside part of the company's innovation, the technologists and the market people, interviewing people who are users out there. You scan the literature and the databases, you do a lot of environmental scanning, and you identify the trends that are out there. So that's step two. Step three is actually identifying the people themselves. Who are these people that are lead users? And what types are they? What categories are they? How many people are there out there who represent a lead user category? And then in the fourth step, you actually develop a solution for those lead users. It's a small group of people, and it's a pilot example of what might be happening in the marketplace, but that's what you try to do. You try and satisfy that pilot study, kind of like a focus group, where you're really producing a solution for them, and it's a very small sample, but it represents a larger sample of the marketplace. So, what are the benefits of lead user research? Well, it potentially identifies potentially important technical or market trends. And this is a way in which, most companies are really trying to do this anyway. And if you're doing this as a lead user research effort, you can really do double duty. You can produce information, a competitive analysis information, and also find out what your potential users might need. You can identify those highly experienced participants in those trends who have compelling needs. And those are the people who represent a larger part of the marketplace, if only the marketplace knew that such an innovative solution was possible. And the results of lead user research help identify problems of use or of practice that need resolution. And lead user data can then be projected, even though it's a small sample, it can be projected onto the general marketplace of users. And so once you identify what lead users need, you can begin to project what other people in other adoption categories might need. So here are some summary insights about lead user research. Lead user research formalizes and systematizes the innovation process. It's not just a chance happening. You do it very deliberately. You're really looking at the marketplace and you're matching what you know about the marketplace with what you're capable of doing. And since lead users usually have developed a prototype solution because they're out there solving problems, that strategy can help reduce the time it takes for actually getting to a breakthrough innovation. So you're not starting with a blank slate. You're starting with somebody who already has a solution of some kind or another. So that shortcuts the time frame it takes to get an innovation developed. And then finally, companies can reduce the need for internal research and development by developing solutions that already seem to be operational. And so there's value in that by reducing R&D expenditures.